Well, I'm Mark Cossom. I'm the GM of Exploration and Resources for Javelin Minerals. I've been a GO for about 28 years. Been lucky to be involved in some pretty good projects, both exploration and mining and sort of feasibility development studies. So yeah, that's sort of a journey I've been on pretty much all in the gold space, mainly in Australia, a bit in PNG, but been with Javelin now for about 4 months, and yeah, really looking forward to what's about to come. And yeah, well, it's a small company, small junior, been listed for a little while, but you know, really a couple of years ago refocused itself on gold in WA, which is obviously great now, but has 2 projects located, one north and one south of Kalgoorlie, about 50 k's either way, and between those 2 projects, one called Eureka, north of Cal, and one called Coogee, south of Cal. And between those projects, got about 250,000 ounces in resources. They're both located on granted mining leases and have some historic open pit mines that have been mined in the past on them. But really, I suppose the short-term focus for Javelin is that we have just entered into a JV with Mega, who are a mining services contracting provider, and they are looking to develop our Eureka deposit, which is about 50 k's north of Kalgoorlie, and this is pretty exciting because it's basically ready to go, and we're hoping to get it up and going by the middle of next year. So it's been mined in the past, you know, a bit of an open pit there in the late 1980s and a few iterations since then, but it's got about 110,000 ounces of resources. It's 50 k's north of Cal, but importantly it's about 10 k's north of Paddington. Same rocks, same sort of trend, so it's in a really prolific part of the eastern goldfields of WA. Really strong history of production and of those ore bodies being you know, decent size and continuation at depth. And so there's a resource there of about 110,000 ounces around the main pit, and that's sort of been built up over years. But importantly, there's about 80,000 ounces in indicated resources proximal to that pit, and you know, previous mining iterations have been at much lower gold prices than now. And so really, you know, we've been looking at you know, optimisations of those resources and how it looks, and yeah, it's you know, in the current environment, it's a real straight up sort of question to go and get in there and get mining. Trouble is with a company like Javelin, you know, you're sort of always faced with those capital hurdles and the like, but that's where this partnership with Mega has come into it, and it just enables a company like us to go on and get that operation up and going. So on a granted mining lease, we've just signed an agreement with the native title owners in the area, which cover that, and also our Coogee project to the south. It's the same group, so we've got that arrangement in place, and we're just working through the final permitting stages to get Eureka up and going. So from the project point of view, we're doing a bit of diamond drilling at the moment, and that's sort of just part of the continued you know, sort of build up of technical studies to final mine design, but progressing the final permits for the mine expansion there. Importantly, I should note with the agreement with Mega, and this is really key for Javelin going forward, you know, it's a 50-50 profit share agreement, and Mega are bringing $25 million in upfront capital to fund the startup of the mine. Hence, you know, Javelin doesn't have to worry about that. But one of the really important sort of factors of the agreement we signed with them is that once they start processing the ore, which should be sort of Q3 2026, Javelin gets a $250,000 a month prepayment on that profit share. So with the $4.5 million that we have in the bank now, essentially Javelin's you know, funded off into the future, and we won't have to go and raise any money again. What this enables us to do is to look then, we're not just focused on this small mining opportunity, you know, really we're looking bigger than that. We have, you know, strategically bigger ideas. So there is further exploration at Eureka itself, but also down at Coogee. There's some great conceptual gold targets down there. That's a project that was mined by Ramelius back in 2017, I think it was. They took out about 20,000 ounces, but there's 125,000 ounces in resource there, but there's a couple of really big targets there that haven't sort of had the attention that they deserve, and so we'll be looking to sort of, you know, put some of that money to use, exploration at Eureka and exploration at Coogee, and then potentially other projects as we can come across them. It's really at that sort of sweet spot, if you like, in that pre-development phase where you know, the company doesn't quite get valued on what it's about to do. It's a junior. We've got a market cap of about $20 million at the moment, $4.5 million in the bank. But you know, we got visibility on you know, essentially the profits from that mining operation, which will start in the middle of next year. And when we're planning on using that money to then you know, grow our resource base and potentially look at other project opportunities to grow our gold exposure and sort of leapfrog Javelin into that next tier of sort of you know, maybe not mid-tier companies, but definitely bigger than what we are now, and be able to grow you know, shareholder value from there.